Every day is its own kind of battle. Some days you start off on the right foot, other days on the wrong foot. Ebbs and flows. I mean, you don't need me to tell you about this, but any day is made better when you're listening to Alanis Morissette, and today we're going to be doing just that. We have a triple reaction for you. We're going to be listening to the songs Head Over Feet, Underneath, and Smiling. It's been a little bit of time since I've heard Alanis on the channel, but there's no love lost here. I love her voice. She's so unique in her style, in her demeanor, and she spreads the message of peace, love, positivity, which is something that I always tout over here. So I'm excited to check this out here today. But before we do jump in, a massive thank you goes to James the Quirky, whose generous support made this reaction possible. Appreciate you, James. And now, let's jump in.
You're going to do a couple of songs, and I'm very excited about that.
Yes.
I'm very excited about that. But take a few phone calls.
I'd love to.
All right. Yes, Kimberly.
Oh, Alanis, I love you. My husband's and my wedding song was Head Over Feet. We love that song.
I mean, that's some song. Like, how do you write that? Like, I mean, you were just a kid, and what do you sit in your bedroom one day and you start? What do you like? Write poetry first, and then you put it to music?
No, this song I was in the studio with Glenn Ballard, who I was writing it with, and just about 20 or 25 minutes, just all came out like a conversation would. You know, when you're writing a letter and it just writes itself.
Wow.
Conversational.
I've written letters. Nothing ever comes out right.
Yeah, nothing like that anyway. Nothing anybody would want to publish.
Maybe we should do that now. That would be an excellent...
nice segue.
What do you think?
That's
Pretty professional, huh?
So pro.
All right, so so this is their wedding song.
Ooh. Oh, she wants to hear herself. Da, da, da. That's beautiful.
I had no choice but to hear you. You stated your case time and again, and
This is a really small note, but I love the way that she just extends that note here.
You stated your case time and again, and I thought about it. And you treat me like I'm a princess, and I'm not used to liking that. And you ask how my day was. You've already won me over in spite of me.
That was such a fluid change to major.
You've already won me over.
Or the opposite from major to minor.
And you ask how my day was. You've already won me over.
Right there.
In spite of me.
Wow.
And don't be alarmed if I fall head over feet. And don't be surprised if I love you for all that you are. I couldn't help it. It's all your fault. And your love is thick, and it swallowed me whole. And you're so much braver than I give you credit for. And that's not lip service. You've already won me over in spite of me. And don't be alarmed if I fall head over feet. And don't be surprised.
These chords, you guys are hearing the chords that I'm hearing, right? They're so unintuitive, but they work so well. This is the kind of song that deserves its own like case study in like a musical class or something, to just understand why these movements and chord progressions work the way they do. Because the way I've kind of conceived of it as I learn about music theory is a bit of a pivot. You have one chord that exists within one scale that can be applied or used in a different scale. And because you're playing the same notes, when you change the rest of the context, it feels at a macro level like a big change, but in the context of the chord, it still works. So in a sense, you have one foot in the door, one foot out of the door. Is that the expression? But it both works. It makes her music so is esoteric the word? So many words that I feel like I'm grabbing onto and I don't know if they're correct. Alanis, man.
Head over feet, don't be surprised if I love you for all that you are. I couldn't help it, it's all your fault.
Oh, the falsetto.
And you are the bearer of unconditional things, and you held your breath and the door for me, and thanks for your patience.
Even you can hear the movement in the chords in the harmonica, but the pitch of the harmonica stays in that same range. It is so steady, but the movement feels big. That is such a weird thing to hear, where at a macro level the song feels like a massive shift has happened, but with one instrument that we're focused on, we're actually within, I guess, a standard range. I don't know how to describe it other than that. Right there.
You're the best listener that I've ever met. You're my best friend with benefits. What took me so long? And I've never felt this healthy before, and I've never wanted something rational, and I am aware now.
Wow.
I am.
And you're noticing these slowdowns in the rhythm of the guitar. It's like there's these special pockets where the strumming pattern alters just slightly to let the lyric breathe.
Now, I am aware now. You've already won me over in spite of me. Don't be alarmed if I fall head over feet. Don't be surprised if I love you for all that you are. I couldn't help it, it's all your fault. You're high, you're high, you're high, yeah. Real high, no, a high, you're high, you're high.
Oh, yeah. Look at you.
It's hard to like put into words all of the reasons to appreciate Alanis, because she exhibits so much realness, emotional vulnerability in both the music, the chord progression, the lyricism, even her performance of this track. She's just speaking at times, and I love that she opened up the conversation with the way the song was written was conversational. I just kind of had the thoughts, they were free flowing, I allowed them to happen, and out came this really, really fluid song. Again, those moments of pivoting between the different chords, and I guess you could even say different scales, happened so seamlessly. It was almost so jarring. It feels like a new, like, crack in music theory, or like, you know, like if you ever see those like sci-fi movies where there's a ripple in space-time where it's like you see a doorway, but between the doorway there's another cosmic doorway. It feels like she is opening up this musical cosmic doorway. I was gonna say Causeway Dorwick, but you know, I do my best. And part of writing music in a conversational manner, obviously I've said vulnerability already, but you have to allow your brain, allow your creativity to just flow and don't judge it whatsoever. Because there are going to be so many moments in your own music playing, singing, composition where something comes out that doesn't sound right on paper, but it was what it was meant to be. Music doesn't have to abide by the strict standards of, a 2-5-1 or, in minor, like the 1-6-3-7 chord progression. Like you're allowed to deviate from these things. You would make the point that some choices musically are better than others, but you can justify every single musical decision you make. I love that she just lets it happen and she composes something beautiful around it, because this song is authentically itself. Head Over Feet is its own thing. There's no other song that I could even compare this one to. That's why Alanis, in my mind, is so unique. But we have 2 more songs to check out from her. We'll get to dive deeper into her uniqueness. Let's check out Underneath.
Alanis Morissette, who's here to celebrate her new album, featuring the single, of course, Underneath. This song is very painful for you to sing right now. This is about...
I love the projection.
Painful.
This is about your engagement breaking up. Is this correct?
No.
What is this one about?
This one, this might bore you.
Is it something about the dude?
It's something about the dude, parentheses S, dudes.
Dudes.
And it's about me and not wanting to control what's going on out there.
In other words, you want to give up control because you realize the more you try to control things, the more futile it is.
There's no control.
You can't control
Barely
anything.
control me at this point.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
What was that last comment she made?
You can't control
Barely
anything.
control me at this point.
Exactly.
Oh, she can barely control herself. Just allow yourself to be yourself.
So, yeah. So this song is about just focusing here rather than trying to tell other people what they should do out there.
Yeah, no need to externalize.
And also getting underneath the layer when I meet someone and they share what they want to share at face value. I'm always curious about what's going on underneath. Not unlike you.
All right, here we go.
Yuck.
Look at us break our bonds in this kitchen. Look at us rallying all our defenses. Look at us waging war in our bedroom. Look at us jumping ship in our dialogues.
Starting to dissolve this relationship.
Difference in what we're doing in here that doesn't show up as bigger symptoms out there. So I spend all our time dressing our bandages when we really ultimate key to the cause right here underneath. Look at us form our cliques in our sandbox. Look at us micro kids.
I love the difference in dynamics between the verse and the chorus. The verse is so, it's almost spoken, it's not quite. We know what spoken Alanis sounds like, but it's just rumination. And the chorus is just upheaval, destruction. It is so loud and not barbaric, but just you're crying out about the dissolution of the relationship and all of the signs, all of the things that were done, all of the places you shared and inhabited became a literal battlefield, not of peace.
Look at us micro kids with both our hearts blocked. Look at us turn away from all the rough spots.
Wow. So now she's the observer to the relationship. She's not even talking about herself. She's like, look at us. We avoid, we don't deal with the issues. We're basically acting like kids in a sandbox, avoiding our problems. This takes a lot of humility and really detachment to be able to make statements like this.
Rough spots. Look at dictatorship on my own block. There is no difference in what we're doing in here that doesn't show up as bigger symptoms out there. So I spend our time dressing our bandages. We really are too much. Key to the cause right here underneath.
It's the easy way out.
Now I've spun my wheel.
It's easier to reach for the keys than to actually address the issues, those bandages. And implicit in the fact that something is a bandage is a temporary solution. It's not like stitches or true healing. It just covers up the ugliness, but does nothing to address it truthfully. In order to excise the malignant whatever in your body, you have to address it. Otherwise it festers, it gets worse, it starts to spread until death awaits.
Now I've spun my wheels with carts before my horse. Wind shine on the outside, springs from the roof. Spotlight on these seeds of simpler reasons. This core born into form starts in my living room.
That's so unique.
There is no difference in what we're doing in here that doesn't show up as bigger symptoms out there. So I spend our time dressing our bandages, and we really are too much. Key to the cause right here underneath.
Ooh, that chord.
Well, that says it all.
You know the Chop Suey song by System of a Down, Why'd You Leave the Keys Up on the Table? Should have left them underneath. Wow. The fact that those two songs are like in the same conversation, at least lyrically, that makes me all kinds of happy because System of a Down is one of my favorite bands of all time. And Alanis is just so profoundly good and earnest and deep. It feels a bit full circle for me. Amongst all the other things that have come full circle in and around my life in terms of music and even this reaction channel, loving Alanis. I love the power in her voice. Again, I'll just keep beating this dead horse, but the vulnerability she displays emotionally, she's just sharing her soul, bearing her soul to the world and performing beautifully. And I love that you just need two acoustic guitars, one voice, and deep meaning to make anything powerful. And really, music, it takes so many different forms. Any version of music can be made powerful. All you need is one voice. All you need is one instrument. You just need a vessel, a medium, something to administer the idea. Because all of these deep concepts, they do resonate with us. And if we allow our brains to adapt and learn, we can start welcoming in so many different forms of art. Again, this is just more of like a fourth wall break for my channel, but one of the reasons I love just discovering all this music is because I was closed off to a lot of genres for a long time, and doing these reactions has in a way forced me out of my own pigeonhole. And I'm learning so much across the board, and people with, you know, like-minded ideas or even different ideas musically, lyrically, they speak to me and I'm able to have that conversation. Or if I can't have the conversation, I can at least contemplate, because there are so many smart creatives out there. Alanis is certainly among them. I hope you all are enjoying the reactions so far. If that is the case, please hit the link in the description box down below. That is the best way to support my channel. But now it's time for the last song of the day, Smiling. Let's jump in.
Het is alweer 25 jaar geleden dat het doorbraakalbum Jagged Little Pill van Alanis Morissette uitkwam. Het ging wereldwijd 33 miljoen keer over de toonbank.
I don't know this language. These are like the old school previews. Wow, the full album version of this one. This is her? I've heard this sampled so many places. Wow, another full circle moment for me. That is so cool.
Ja, en vanavond staat ze dus hier op het podium met haar nieuwe single Smiling, Alanis Morissette.
This is a life of extremes. Both sides are slippery and enticing. These are my places off the rails.
So dark.
My loose recollection of a fall. I barely remember who I failed.
This what mode is this? Is this Phrygian? I think it's Phrygian dominant, something like that.
I was just trying to keep it together. This is my
different.
first wave of my white flag. This is the sound of me hitting bottom. This is my surrender, if that's what you call it. And the anatomy of my crash. And I keep on smiling.
Oh, I love that note. I keep on smiling, but the chord underneath is just so dark.
Keep on smiling. Keep on moving. Can't stand still.
Dude, I love her. Oh, and the guitar voicings. The movement is just crisscrossing.
Such
Listen to the last like 5 notes that each acoustic guitar played there.
Such pretty forks in the road. On this continuum I've been bouncing, like flashing promise before my eyes. This is my first wave of my white flag. This is the sound keep on smiling, keep on moving, can't stand still.
Da, da, da. Oh my God. Her melodies, they make me actually so happy. It's really a joy whenever I get to discover amazing artists, and even if it's not artists, specific songs, because if I find a good song, I will listen to it indefinitely, even if the entire discography of an artist besides that song is trash. I could never say that about Alanis. Every single song I've heard from her has been unique in its own right, has been so enjoyable, and she continues to bend and break my brain in ways that, I could conceive of as being possible, but I'm just so surprised at how easily she's able to do it. To me, it feels like these melodies, all things considered, are simple. The chord progressions, they are learnable. They're like so intuitive once you learn her language that it's almost like, how could I have existed in a reality without this knowledge? And that's kind of how you would imagine experts in any domain to be. They just free flow with the truth so easily, and any beginner, any intermediate looks up to those experts and thinks, wow, how do they do what they do with such ease? They made this little 2-second blurb one of the best 2-second blurbs you've ever heard, and then they just continue to churn out amazing 2-second blurb, and eventually you've got a song like this that just takes me over for sure. And for me, I love the minor scale. I love harmonic minor. I love Spanish Phrygian dominant, whatever you want to call that mode. Diminished. What are some of the other dark ones? There's like a harmonic major scale that I have to learn about. The Hirajoshi scale. I think there's also a double harmonic minor. There's a melodic minor. Any of those dark scales, or at least tangentially dark scales, yeah, they do something to me, and they're not commonly used, especially in Western music. So to hear Alanis go for them as often as she does, it just shows you how open her mind is. And she's changing music with every performance. I hope others learn from her and continue to adopt her styles and scales and chord progressions and vulnerability first and foremost. I think that is where all of her charm and grace comes from. I could just ramble on and on, but I will leave it at that. I hope y'all enjoyed the reaction today. Again, if you did, hit that subscribe button, and if you'd like to request a reaction yourself, you can do so with the link in the description box below. And as always, my friends, my camera's going to die as soon as I outro it. And as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.